Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Dead End Sports Podcast. This is a weekly sports podcast. We call it the best hours of your sports week. Thank you for tuning in. I am your host, 12 Kyle. Once again, this is Dead End Sports. So make sure that you tune in, subscribe. Of course, I will not be doing this podcast alone. Joining me are the homies. First up, my man, Beezy, 430. Beezy, what up, though?
What up, though? What's good, fellas? What's good? Got a guest on today? Love it.
No doubt. What's going on with you, man? I know I know it's a little warmer in the D right now.
Warmer? How? What are you talking about? I say my dad talking about something. He was shoveling. He had the snowblower. He had to snowblow the driveway.
I'm talking about it got a little warmer because you picked up a player for your Pistons, man. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit.
Y'all bringing that light skinned dude down there. He gonna brighten everything up.
I know the memes, but the memes for him been hilarious. Him coming from LA to Detroit, they've been showing on Twitter and stuff. Man, it's been hilarious.
Oh my gosh! Also joining us is the homie Ken. Ken, what up, man?
Man, I'm here, man. I'm glad I'm doing this show, so I don't have to watch the State of the Union address.
Hey, and also joining us, man, for the first time on the Dead End Sports Podcast, my man Manny Fresh is coming through. He is the host of the Technical Foul Podcast, welcoming for the first time my man Manny Fresh. Manny, what's up, man?
What's good, y'all? What's good, everybody? It's an honor to be on with the Dead End hip hop crew. Of course, on the Dead End Sports side of things, it's an honor to be on with you guys, man.
Oh man, anytime.
Huge fan. Been a fan since day one. So it's a bucket list item today, for real.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
There it is.
No doubt.
So let's go ahead and get it cracking, man. We know what's going down this coming Sunday at the time of this recording. This Sunday will be Super Bowl 52. We've got, of course, the New England Patriots taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot has been talked about. It kicks off, I think, around 6:30 Eastern Standard Time at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Of course, the Vikings won't be there, but we got the Eagles and we got the Patriots. Much has been talked about. Brady's hand, Belichick's hat, a little bit of everything. No, really, not a lot of trash talk, not a lot of compelling stories unless you want to deal in, the story of, Brady and Belichick going for their, what is this, fifth ring, I think? Six. Oh, damn, I forgot one. I forgot the one.
Only reason I know is I'm a disgruntled Jets fan, of course. So I have to keep notes.
Pray for this man. Pray for this man. He needs prayer. So let's start right there, man. Let's go ahead and talk about it. B, I'll start first with you, man. We talked about it a little bit last week, but this week we want to go ahead and give our predictions as to who wins and why and what the score will be. So who you got winning? Why do you think they'll win and how they'll win and what's going to be the final score?
And I hate to use this cliche answer, but my heart is with Philly, but my head is telling me the Patriots, man. Just because, whenever you give Belichick 2 weeks to prepare for you, not just 1 week, but 2 weeks to prepare for you, ain't no telling what's going to come out of that, man. And then, of course, them making adjustments on the fly. It's I don't know if the spotlight might be too bright for the Philly defense. I don't know, man. But yeah, like I said, the heart in me is like, come on, Philly, please win. Because I feel like I'm not even gonna watch SportsCenter or Fox Sports for like 2 weeks if Patriots win.
For real, you already know.
So you know what I'm saying. So like I said, my heart, but my head is telling me Patriots gonna go ahead and Brady gonna mess around and get that 6th dang on ring and. It's just that Belichick, man, that Belichick system, man. You got those weeks to prepare, and he's going against Nick Foles. It's like, can we? I don't know if I want to if I'm a betting man, I don't know if I want to put that much stock into Nick Foles. You know what I'm saying? Going into the Super Bowl, playing in his biggest game of his career,
right?
Easily, hands down. So, yeah, and the score is going to be. I say the score is going to be surprisingly, it's going to be 30-17.
Oh wow! You got him blowing him. You got him putting the beat down on him.
30-17.
Wow. Okay. Manny, what about you, man? Like I said, a lot has been talked about. This is Belichick and Brady's, 6th attempt. Well, not their 6th attempt, but they're trying to win ring number 6.
Right.
And a couple of weeks ago, people were talking about this could be the last run for them. So who do you have? All biases aside, who do you have winning this game? How are they going to win, and why? And what's going to be the score?
Oh, man. I'm kind of like Beezy, man. My heart, my hate for the Patriots is telling me root for the Eagles like hell, of course, and that's exactly what I plan on doing. As far as smart money, if I was a betting man, obviously, I mean, it's hard to bet against that triumvirate, man, of Kraft, Belichick, and Brady, man. I mean, those guys I don't think we've ever seen a coach and quarterback duo that has done it at this level for such a long time. I mean, this is a run that's going on almost 20 years. So, so smart money would say bet on the Patriots all the way. But obviously, we're all smart individuals, and we don't have any money on this. So, you know what? It's interesting because when we found out what the game was going to be last week, of course, obviously my first prediction was the Patriots. I mean, begrudgingly, of course, but as I started thinking about it, I was like, man, and I just kind of looked at the matchups and whatnot. Everybody's really kind of counting the Eagles out of this game, and I think that's a mistake. The only reason why I think if you look at the competition that the Eagles had to play to get here, mm-hmm. They had a better slate of competition than the Patriots had to play. I mean, let's be real.
Yep.
The Pats had the Titans, who weren't ready for prime time. And then the Jags, who basically gave the game away late. And the Eagles had to beat Atlanta. And I know what everybody's going to say about Atlanta. They choked. They can't win big games. I agreed. But it's still Atlanta. They still have a talented team. And the Eagles basically stopped them on fourth down. With a lot of help from Atlanta, of course. But,
right.
The Eagles basically got the job done. And then what really impressed me about the Eagles was their performance 2 weeks ago against the Vikings, because I didn't see that coming. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. That beatdown that they gave Minnesota. I mean, that game was basically that game was just a skull drug. And I was like, man, Philly is legit. And I don't know, man. You know what? I'm going to go with the Eagles, man. Okay. I'm going to go with the Eagles. I'm going to go ahead. I was hedging my bet there for a second, but you know what? I'm going to make it interesting. Why not, right? I'm going to just go with the Eagles. I'm a big believer in momentum in sports, man. And I think that the Eagles, they just got that vibe of a team that's just on a magic carpet ride. For some reason, I don't know what it is. It's just, you know what I'm saying? They advance to the Super Bowl and they lose their franchise quarterback. Everybody writes them off in the playoffs and they just find ways to win. And I just think, I don't know, man. I don't know. The Patriots, first of all, the Patriots play close Super Bowls. If you look at their history in the Super Bowls, they do not blow teams out. So if smart money and looking at the history, you gotta bet that the Eagles are going to be competitive in this game. And I think their defense is solid. I think all three layers of their defense is great. And I think they're going to give Brady some problems, at least early on in that game. Now, whether or not the Patriots make adjustments and the Eagles can sustain that, we'll see. But if I had to pick a score, I think it's going to be a close game, obviously, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game relatively. So I'm going to go with 20-13.
Okay.
20-13 Eagles.
Okay. Kenneth, on you, brother.
Man, I'm just, you know what? I'm not going to even, I'm going to jump right to it, man. Give me the Eagles. I'm not even nowhere in hell I'm picking the Patriots. They win, so be it. Who cares? Because you had to beat Nick Foles. Like, come on, man. Like this, if they, and I think if the Patriots do beat them, it's going to probably be a blowout. Because that roller coaster is real, man, and he's been on a hell of a ride so far. But like I said, the last 3 weeks or the last 2 weeks, having seen Philly play, that defense is for real. And unlike the Jaguars, they are able to generate pressure with their D-line without requiring the coverage. So they don't have to rely on coverage sacks, so to speak. So Fletcher Cox and all those other guys, they can be disruptors without having to rely on the secondary to just cause Brady to not have anybody to throw to. So I think that's going to be a problem for them. I think that I would like to see and hope that the Eagles secondary press a little bit more and don't allow free releases. So I think that'll be a key. And if so, you'll see a lot of throws to the running backs and quick throws like that. You know, the small little throws that he do that people marvel at when he go 13 for 15 and acting like he doing something. Yeah, it's easy when you go 13 for 15 when you're throwing the ball 2 yards down the field. Right. But so I think you'll probably see that. But I like that defense, man, and I think that defense is elite from what I've seen, and I think they're going to get pressure on Brady. And for me, the biggest thing is do you have a second half game plan? And I said this about the Jags. When you go into halftime and the Patriots adjust, do you have a counter move? And hopefully Chris Long and what's his name, LeGarrette Blount can keep them even killed, being Super Bowl champions themselves and being in the Patriot organization. So the key will be whether or not they have a second half game plan, offensively and defensively. And if they do not, this thing will be over, and it'll be over quick.
Man, I
agree.
You made some great points, man. I think one of the things we do know about New England is their ability to, again, you've talked about it actually for the last couple of weeks, how they adjust, particularly at half, when they're not, necessarily, in their best situation or playing their best, if you will. I think this game really is going to come down to, and people have talked about Philadelphia's defense, and I don't want to discredit their defense at all because that defense is hell. One of the ways that you do, slow Brady down, if you will, is if you can get pressure from your front four without having to blitz. Philadelphia's a team that really doesn't blitz. They will if they have to, but they don't necessarily have to bring pressure. They do a good job, like you said, with guys like Fletcher Cox up front. That being said, I think the key thing is going to be is for Philadelphia's offense to help their defense. One of the things, and we saw last year in the Super Bowl, and we saw, we've seen from these Patriots teams over the years, Bill Belichick is a disciple of Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells always believed in winning the time of possession. He had this thought that if you won the time of possession, 95% of the time, you're probably going to win the game. And the one way that you do that is you ball control and you turn the sticks on third downs. Nick Foles is going to have to do that for Philadelphia to win. He is going to have to. Philadelphia is going to have to finish with like 60 or maybe 65% third down completions as far as the percentage of changing over the first downs. Because if they can't get if they keep New England's offense off the field, that's going to be the best way that they're going to be able to stay into this game. And also, much like the Jags, you can't kick field goals against New England because eventually they're going to score. There's no way that you can just shut this team out defensively. So that Brady and company are going to find the end zone. When you get in the red zone, you got to punch it in and get 7 as opposed to 3. So third downs are key. Scoring touchdowns are key. I just think that unless Nick Foles comes out and plays the game of his life, he would actually have to play as well as he did 2 weeks ago against the Vikings, or maybe even better, to beat the Patriots. And one thing for sure, to beat New England, you got to play 60 minutes. They're, as we saw last year, they're not going to quit. There's no quit in them. Even when it looks like the odds and the deck is stacked against them, they're not going to stop. So you got to play 60 minutes worth of football. I like B said, I will put this out there. I'm rooting, if you will, for Philadelphia, but the Patriots are going to win. I think Patriots will win this game. I think it'll be close because New England doesn't blow anybody out in the Super Bowl. All of their Super Bowl wins have been close. I say they win 27-24. They will find a way. And, one thing, as I mentioned, as far as the time of possession, and the one thing that did the Falcons in last year, and I'm sure New England's going to look to do this year, they're going to turn the third down sticks as well as, the time of possession. But if that defense is on the field 75, 80, 85 plays, I don't care how great you could be the 85 Bears. You can't be on the field for 85 plays. And that's how they wear you down. Just getting first downs, grinding the clock out. And if you watch the game, Brady will come to the line of scrimmage with, especially if they have, a 7-point lead or something. He'll come to the line of scrimmage and he will just, milk the clock. He won't snap the ball until it's under 5 seconds. So that's one of the ways that they just really, really tire you out. And so, I'm expecting Philadelphia to ride high. I think they need to try to ride the momentum, like Manny said, from the, what they did 2 weeks ago. All of the stuff about, playing in championship games, I think that stuff does matter to some degree. But I think ultimately, once you get on the field and you start sweating, you forget all about that stuff. The field is still the same length. It's still 55 yards to the sideline. The field is still 100 yards. You still got to play football. So I think ultimately, New England's going to win. I said a couple of weeks ago, I thought the only teams that probably had a legitimate shot at beating New England were the Steelers and the Falcons, and they both got knocked out on the same weekend. So I think this is going to be another title. I hope, like hell, I'm wrong, but we'll see, man. We'll see. So there it is, Super Bowl 52. Now, if anybody's listening, don't place your bets based on what we said, because we don't.
No.
We don't want to be responsible for anybody losing any money. But of course, make sure that you come back next week, and we will have the Super Bowl wrap up and see if our predictions came to fruition. Now let's move on to the NBA, man. Major news went down. Blake Griffin traded to the Detroit Pistons from the LA Clippers. Let's start with the guy from Detroit, Pistons fan, my man Beezy. B, man, what do you make of this trade, man? Like I said, you guys got Blake Griffin, an all-star. You really didn't give up much, or did you give up much? So I guess initially, give me your thoughts and tell me who you thought won this trade.
I thought it was a bad trade. I didn't like it at all. I think it's one of the examples that Stan Van Gundy, he's in his 4th year and his 5th year tenure, out of his 5-year tenure there. And I think this is a desperate shot. This is a desperate shot for him right now, because he knows he's in the hot seat. The attempt was poor because, you give up, 2 draft picks.
Yeah.
Avery Bradley, which I kind of assumed they was going to end up shopping him around anyway, and Tobias Harris, a nice young 3 and 4. He can play multiple 4 positions that you give up. That's, solid. That can be healthy, because Blake Griffin hasn't played 80-plus games in the regular season since 2013, 2014. The man has played merely about 33% of his games the last 4 seasons, which is insane. He stays banged up. He's banged up now, actually, still in this season. So it's like that's a guy you cannot trust to be dependable for you when it counts the most. Luckily, he's in the East now, so right off the bat, he's like the 5th, 6th best player in the East. Just going to the Eastern Conference, but I don't like the trade at all. I just think it's a desperate plea for Stan Van Gundy to try to keep his job. Hey, let's bring an all-star that's going to fill up seats. The way the NBA is being played right now, having 2 bigs like Blake and Andre Drummond, I don't know if it could work in the way the NBA is going right now. You know what I'm saying? The way that the center's playing small ball and they popping out, shooting threes and all that stuff. I don't know if Blake and Andre Drummond can work. And you already seen how Blake was with CP3, one of the best floor generals in the league. We don't have that type of point guard play over at the Pistons, man. So this is going to be really interesting to see how. Hey, I'm being serious. I'm being
so Reggie Jackson doesn't do it for you?
No. But even though, you know what, though, to Reggie Jackson's case, every time when he plays, we're like one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. The 2 times he's been injured, we've been losing like crazy. Last year, the year before last, and this year, it's showing, since Reggie Jackson been down, hell, we lost 8 straight. I think we might lose tonight. It'd be 9 straight. So,
wow. Yeah.
Even though I'm not really big on Reggie Jackson, but proof in the pudding is when he plays and when he's healthy, we're a winning team. When he's out, we out there looking lost. So he's some type of value to the squad, even though I don't care for him. Mm-hmm. But I don't even think Clippers really got the good end of the deal here, because they pretty much with that trade, and we're still hearing reports that DeAndre Jordan is still being possibly shopped around. I think at this point, Clippers are just clearing out. They're clearing out money. They're clearing out everything. Rumor, I think Ken mentioned it, that LeBron is looking at the Clippers, which I remember saying that, but I was like, that's probably like 2% true.
No. Right. Well, he came out today. He came out today and refuted those. Well, he refuted those.
I'm sorry, the Lakers. My bad, Lakers.
No, you're right though. You're right though. There was a report that LeBron was looking at the Clippers, but he came out and refuted that today though.
Yeah, because he likes Jerry West. West. That's why. But yeah, man. I can't really say which team got the better end. I would just say, for what the Clippers did, I guess this is the right decision because they clearing up money. At this point, they're just trying to do that to fill up seats. Okay, Blake Griffin's a name. He's popular. Bam, people gonna come to the games, but. Yeah, man, I hated that trade. It's funny too. I posted something on my Facebook, which I thought was hilarious, even as I was typing it. I said, Chris Paul and Blake Griffin locked DeAndre Jordan in the house to prevent him from going back to Dallas, and now they both gone 2.5 years later. And I said, if I'm DeAndre Jordan, I'm fighting him on site. Or whatever.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I was just being silly on Facebook, man. And I just thought I'd post that because I thought about that in the totality. I'm like, wow. I said they did all that to DeAndre, and he the last of the Mohicans standing there at the Clippers. So, and if they shop him around, like I said, you know what Clippers are trying to do. They're trying to start from scratch, clean, or trying to clear up money to try to lure LeBron James, some other superstars there to the Clippers. But yeah, man, I can't. To be honest with you, I can't really say the Clippers really got the better end of the deal. I would say they did just because they got a lot from Detroit. But, I mean, just from the long term, I'm like, I don't know about that one, unless they can get some good pieces for Tobias Harris or if they're going to try to keep him. But me personally, I don't like it. It's just going to be interesting seeing how Blake Griffin plays in the Eastern Conference now. He's in the softer conference where he don't have to, it's not that many power forwards that's challenging him like in the Western Conference.
Before I move to Ken, real quick. Since you're from Detroit, I know you still have, friends and family there. What is it like? What are your dad and some of your friends, people who are Pistons fans, what are they saying? What's the vibe? Are people happy about it, or are they kind of like, in the middle?
I got a couple of folks like, oh man, I got to see how this go. Cause a couple of my peeps thinking this is going to be like Lob City, Detroit. I'm like, no, he didn't have a point guard. Like I said before, he didn't have a point guard like PG3 here in Detroit. And then, yeah, like my dad didn't like it. He didn't like it. He felt pretty much kind of like the same way I felt. Like, man, he ain't dependable. He don't stay healthy for an entire season. He barely play 80 games. He can't even get to down there past 60 games. And, yeah, my dad didn't like it. A couple of my other homeboys didn't like it either. Like, man, my homeboy texted me this morning. Man, I still can't believe Blake about to be a Piston. I'm like, yeah, man, I know, that's crazy. So it's just unfortunate, but we'll see how this goes. I mean, I don't think he's going to save us. Like, right. I don't think it's going to be. I mean, best case scenario, we'll be a 7 or 8 seed, best case. But I mean, we still in the outside looking in as far as the playoff picture. So I don't know, man. I don't know what Blake going to do with the mediocre point guards that we have. You saw what he can do when he had the general. So right, I mean, I think Blake's game is the peak right now. I think this is the ceiling for Blake Griffin. These past 3 years has been the ceiling that we're going to see with Blake Griffin.
The ceiling is the roof.
I think, yep, like Michael Jordan. The ceiling is the roof for Blake Griffin. And I just think we still got him at that roof, but I don't think it's going to add much to our team. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we would have kept Tobias Harris, then that probably would have been a different story. But, we gave up too much. And Blake Griffin, he probably going to be gone probably after this year or two anyway. So I'm not expecting him to be there for a long haul.
No doubt. Ken, what about you, man? Make some sense of this trade, man. What do you think, and who do you think won, if at all somebody won?
Come on, man. You know what it is, man. It's Jerry West. It's Jerry West all over it. He realizes that we're not going to beat the Warriors. We're not going to beat the Rockets. Even when we had a championship contending team, we didn't beat any of them. So right. What we're going to do with the Rooster and my son or Doc Rivers' son.
Right.
So it's like, let me prepare for the time when Golden State is done. And it's going to probably take 2 or 3 years for them to get to that point. This is kind of like what Boston was doing, like getting prepared for when LeBron steps away or he ends up with a team like he got now. So this is kind of where we are. That's why you saw DJ is going to be out of there. Lou's going to be out of there. You best believe Austin Rivers is going to be out of there. And Doc Rivers is going to be out of there too. They're just going to clean house. I don't care what Doc Rivers came out and said, everybody's not going. Yeah, everybody is going. You can say what you want to say, but everybody's going to get out of there. So for me, man, I like the move, B. Like, you guys don't have a star. Like, so you guys have a legit star. You have Andre
But he's not going to make a difference, though. All you going to do is
better
fill
than
up seats.
Tobias Harris.
I mean, yeah, but all you gonna do is fill up seats. I mean, if I'm an owner of the Pistons, I'm like, cool, bet we about to fill some seats in that arena. But other than that, right. I'm looking for, like, I want us to win. I'm sick of this, man. We haven't made the playoffs in 2000 and what was that? 2015, and then before that was 2007 and 9. So no, I want us to start winning.
The Stanley Johnson series when he thought he was as good as LeBron. I remember that.
right. And we got swept. So. Yeah, man. No, it's only a difference maker when you thinking of, like, filling up seats. People are going to go to the games now. They're going to say, "Oh my God, I can see Blake Griffin now." That's about it. That's the only win out that situation.
Okay, and I understand. Let me ask you this: you guys have Blake Griffin for 5 years. What do you think you guys want to do for the next 5 years? The same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're not going.
So yeah, but you got something. I understand the health concerns. I understand the report coming out that the Clippers were concerned about his knee. It don't matter with Blake. It could be any damn thing. He could have a chipped tooth. He'll miss a month. But what I like about it is that you have a guy locked in for the next 4 years or 5 years. And in the third year of that contract, maybe you can move him, maybe not. I doubt it because of the contract, $35 million a year. But you have a star, you have Drummond. Can Stanley Johnson become somebody? Can Luke Kennard become somebody? He's just a rookie. What are they going to do with Henry Ellison? So you have these young pieces because you just gave away some draft picks, right? So you don't have any draft picks.
Second round. Yep, we don't got
so this is about the young talent. So Reggie Jackson, Stanley Johnson, Luke Kennard, Blake Griffin, and Drummond. That's not bad. That's not bad. You'll win some games. And in the next 5 years, if LeBron packs it in and goes to the West, then the East can be yours. So it's really going to come down to Stan Van Gundy and what he can do to build out the rest of the roster. Because if you look at the East, what else is there once LeBron is out? Boston, and then it could be Boston and Detroit. It could be back like it was back in the day, B. So I like it, man, because I think you have some pieces in place. You have some pieces locked in place. Now it's team building. And I know Ralph is about to join if he's not on yet, but this is what he says. He says you either build it or you buy it. And I think this is a move of them buying it. Because Stanley Johnson has been rotting on the bench. I think they do need to play, or you guys basically wasted the pick. So can he develop into the guy that they thought he was going to be? We don't know yet because he haven't had a chance to play. That's all Stan Van Gundy's problem. But Tobias Harris wasn't going to do anything for you guys, and Avery Bradley wasn't going to do anything for you guys. And so yeah, man. So I'm okay with the move. I like the move. I like the fact that they're not standing pat and they're trying to do something in order to turn this thing around and to start winning games more consistently.
Joining us is the other homie FIFO. FIFO, what up, man?
Yo, what it do?
Chilling, man, chilling. We're just perfect timing, man. We're talking about this trade that went down with Blake Griffin going to the Detroit Pistons. B's not really feeling it. Ken is. What say you, FIFO? What do you think about it, and who do you think won, if anybody won, with this trade?
So, B, who you not feeling it for Detroit or for the Clippers?
For Detroit.
For Detroit.
Why are you not feeling it for Detroit?
Because all it is just a seat. It's a seat filler trade. That's all it is. I mean, it's not gonna make us like, oh my God, we're gonna make a run in the playoffs or anything like that. Unless like I said, this is Stan Van Gundy's 4th year in this 5th year contract. Unless he can show me something this offseason and make some more moves. But as of right now, on paper, I like with that squad we got right now, I'm not like, oh my God, yes, we going in the right direction. So I'm just not trusting it. I'm not trusting it right now.
I think Ralph he thinks it's a lateral move.
See, okay, so
we still gonna be, like I said, at best. I think before you got on, people, at best we're gonna be an 8th or 7th seed because right now we stinking up the joint.
But you know what? This move isn't really about this year, though, right? It's not about this year for either team. And when you look at it from that perspective, to me, it makes sense because they've never drafted a Blake Griffin, and you're not going to sign Blake Griffin as a free agent there. But if you can acquire him in a trade how many years does he have left?
He just signed a new deal.
He just
signed a new deal. Yeah.
Right? So you have him locked up. Now you can attract other guys with Blake and Andre Drummond. And you still have a trade chip in Reggie Jackson if you want to let him go. Because I definitely don't think
please let him go.
The future. at least not with 2 bigs like that, right? You know what I'm saying? So you never know. Maybe you could go get Kemba. Because obviously Kemba is out there too, floating around. So I think that the Pistons may be done in the trade market, but this move, it's not about this year. It's not. I agree that it's a lateral move this year, but moving forward, you can attract more now. Now it's more enticing because we know what Blake can do. Yes, he's a injury-prone type player, but when he's healthy, first of all, you're 100% right. He does fill the seats, but he can also help, you know what I'm saying, another star get to the playoffs. Those 2 guys, you know what I'm saying, like they're top 3 front court now in the East. You can start to build around that, B. I like that as a foundation. And then for the Clippers, they got a lot of pieces, man. What do I always say? You want to build your team or do you want to buy your team? And we already saw what Jerry West was able to do with Golden State. He got a couple picks. He got a whole bunch of guys. He has assets. Now he's a player. Now he can move things around. He can get more picks, with future trades. You still got DeAndre. You still got Lou Williams. You know what I'm saying? This thing is about to be a turnover job. And I guarantee you Doc Rivers not going to be there next year. Guarantee you. Like that's the reason why they hired Jerry West. Jerry West is going to do what Jerry West does, and this is the first move out of that. And I like it for both squads. I think it impacts both squads and how they need to move toward the future.
I don't think there's really a winner, but I don't think there's a loser per se.
Okay.
That's kind of my stance on it. I understand B's point that it feels like a lateral move. The only thing I would counter with is that you weren't doing anything with Tobias Harris and the guys that you gave away anyway. Like, the Pistons have been a middling franchise really for the last 5 to 7 years. They've kind of been up, they've been down, they've kind of been in the middle. They've been middling, basically. And I think this move is a reset. I agree with you that this is kind of a Hail Mary by Stan Van Gundy because he's feeling some heat. I still do not understand why these franchises keep hiring these head coaches to be GMs and coaches. I just will never understand. You can't do both jobs. It's been proven long ago that is a bad recipe, but whatever, be that as it may. I agree. Blake is a star. I'm a Blake fan. Like, I think the criticism that Blake gets is I don't understand it. Like, I understand he's been injury prone, and I get that. And some people may think he's soft and whatnot, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I get all that. But if you look at the dude's career, like, the dude has put up numbers. He's been a star. I've always kind of defended Blake because I felt like when the Clippers were at their apex, it always felt like when the Clippers were good and when they were playing up to their level and winning 50 games, it was Chris Paul that was getting all the credit. Oh, it's Chris Paul. He's great. He's this, he's that. Well, whatever, right? And then as soon as they would, flame out in the playoffs like they tended to do often, it was Blake's fault. And I was like, okay, that's not a fair distribution of blame there. It's like if Chris Paul gets the credit when they win, you should get the blame when you lose. That's just
but sometimes
opinion.
it really
Blake made
it
some
really was
boneheaded
Blake's fault,
plays
bro.
Look, I'm not sitting here trying to cape for Blake. I get it. Blake has done some dumbass stuff. I get it. I will be the first to tell you, punching out the staffer. He hurt his hand or whatever. Yeah, that some of the injuries, some of the dumb things that he's done. I get all that. I just feel like Blake. I feel like people like to pile on Blake. Oh, he's this, he's that. Like the dude is first of all, he's the best player the Pistons have had since maybe Chauncey Billups. I don't think anybody would debate that right now. Like he's clearly the best player they've had since Chauncey and Rip and Rashid and all those boys. And to me, he's a guy that gives you an opportunity to sign other free agents, like FIFO said. So to me, I don't think this move is about this year per se. I think this move is for the next 4 years because he signed a 5-year deal starting this year. So you got him for the next 4 years.
You know, the way you got to look at basketball is windows of opportunity. Well, professional sports in general.
Absolutely.
Is windows of opportunity. Yep. And the window of opportunity for that Clipper team was been on.
It closed. It closed. I'll get to the Clippers in a second. Yeah, they did. Yeah, I believe every team, even the Warriors, you got a 3 to 5 year solid window. Now, some teams can extend beyond that. Obviously, we've seen the Spurs, we've seen the Patriots, 2 clear examples. For the most part, I believe most teams have 3 to 5 year window to win as many championships as you can. And the Clippers had a 3 to 5 year window, and they blew it.
Exactly.
And I always felt like there was something missing with that team. Like I always felt like there was a missing piece to that team that they just didn't have, and that's why they never got over the hump.
I'll tell you what the missing piece was. Chris Paul has never played with a wing player before. They
didn't have a legitimate 3. They never had a legitimate 3.
A 2 or a 3. And if you settle for J.J. Redick as your 2 guard, then that means your 3-man has to be special. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean like superstar, but I mean at least Rudy Gay. Like you need a guy like that. They never had that. That was their problem. That was their Achilles.
All they had was Matt Barnes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That 3 position was a revolving door, and that's why Dr. GM got the coach fired, or is going to get the coach fired. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, it's extremely difficult to be GM and head coach. I think that even if you're given those powers, you need to hire people to do the day-to-day. You know what I'm saying? Like, because obviously when you look at San Antonio, you look at the Patriots and the 2 examples you use, Bill Belichick run everything. Popovich run everything. He gets guys he wants. He just doesn't have to maneuver everything. You know what I'm saying? So when that was everything, that's what Doc got. We obviously knew that wasn't going to probably last, or at least could you make the move that you need to make this a championship squad? Because how many years are you going to go missing that one spot? And obviously he proven he couldn't do it. And then Dr. GM couldn't blow it up because he was on the coach's side. Now we said we could still do it. I got my guy. Nah, man, you have to be objectional and you have to look at what's going to be best for that franchise moving forward. And you have to come to terms with the owner and be like, hey, look, we win as far as we could. Our window is starting to close. Let's get rid of these guys now that they're still extremely valuable.
Good point.
I completely agree.
I
completely agree. Yeah. I completely agree. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, they had a window, they blew it. As far as I think this trade is more about the Pistons, I would say, than it's more about the Clippers. The Clippers are going to blow it up. The only interesting thing, and I think I text you, Kyle, offline, that I was like, why did they re-sign him in the first place? It just kind of felt weird that in July you said we love him. They even had a mock retirement ceremony for his jersey. When the day comes when he retires and he's a Clipper for life, and then 6 months later you trade him. Like I don't understand in 6 months what changed. I mean, we know what changed, obviously. Yeah, we know what changed.
Jerry West.
Right. But I'm just like, if right now you're willing to basically just trade everybody and just say, fuck it, let's start over. You should have had that tack. As soon as Chris Paul said, "I want to go to Houston. I don't want to be here anymore," that's when you should have blew it up.
But here's the thing. What type of trade asset is Blake Griffin on an expiring contract? You wouldn't have got what you got.
Yes and no. Maybe we don't know that. We don't know that.
5 years.
What do you mean?
Blake 5 years from now on an expiring contract is not Lob City Blake.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well,
he's
yeah.
probably a couple of injuries in too.
You're right. A couple. Yeah.
So yeah, I think one of the biggest things is that this, much like what you guys said, I think it can go both ways. I think you have to look at it. I think for me, just looking at it from the outside looking in, I don't have the vested interest that B does, but I think it can definitely work for Detroit, especially if you can lure other players to come, play because that you got a guy locked in. If Jerry West had not been attached to this, I would say, man, this is typical Clippers. Because you just can't see what's going to be on the other side. But getting those draft picks and having Jerry West in the front office, I think bodes well for them. One thing that I don't think bodes well for them is letting Doc be the coach and the GM, because I think he's getting in the way. And ultimately, Doc's moves are going to, it's going to cost him his GM job. It's going to cost him his head coaching job too, because, the shine, if you will, is starting to, if it hasn't already, starting to wear off on Doc as a coach. The shine that he got, and now granted, he won a title in Boston, but a lot of people, but that was, a while ago. People don't even really, when they talk about Doc Rivers, they don't talk about his coaching ability and what he did, to bring that team together. They talk about the big three. And, he's had some very good teams, and for whatever reason, it's been one thing after the other in Clipperland. But I think the jury's still out on whether or not this is a win or a loss for either team. I think, like I said, it bodes well for Detroit because, like B said, if for nothing else, you can get people to come into that new arena and cheer on Blake Griffin, and you have the ability to lure other free agents to come. And then for the Clippers, I think being able to draft with those draft picks, particularly if you got a nice crop of young talent. Jerry West knows talent. He knows how to draft. His record is impeccable. I don't think that anybody can question that. So I think ultimately, this is going to work out in the long term for both teams. I think in the short term, the here and now, it's going to be a little bumpy because, we were hearing rumors as of 2-3 weeks ago that DeAndre Jordan wanted to go to Houston. So, the trade deadline is still around the corner. Now, Doc Rivers has come out and said, they're not looking to move DeAndre. But, until the trade deadline happens, we don't know. Everybody will say what they're going to say. So, we'll see how it plays out. A lot of stuff going on in the NBA. The injury bug has struck big time. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago. As far as how the injuries, kind of ravaged some of the stars in the NFL. And we really didn't see it a lot in the NBA. But, this year it's coming down, pretty hard, particularly here recently. As you guys know, over the weekend, DeMarcus Cousins blew out his Achilles. He is out for the season. John Wall has had knee surgery. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. And right before we started recording, we got word that Kevin Love suffered a broken hand. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. So I'll start right there with you, Manny. With Cousins out for the year, Wall out for 6 to 8 weeks, and then we're looking at Kevin Love. Initially, the initial reports him being out 6 to 8 weeks. How will the Pelicans, the Wizards, and the Cavs fare without these three guys?
Well, I think for the Pelicans, I think it's a huge blow, obviously. You don't lose a DeMarcus Cousins and just keep chugging along. That dude is a monster. We all know that. And it's especially tough because they were playing some of the best basketball those two guys have played together since that duo kind of came to be last year. They were starting to finally kind of figure it out and finally starting to play well. And then obviously this injury hits. So I think it definitely hurts the Pelicans. I think it definitely hurts the Wizards that Wall is out. I think it definitely hurts them. I can't figure out what the Wizards are. I can't. I'm tired of trying to every year. I feel like the Wizards are that team that can take that step, and then it's no, they're still the same old Wizards. to me, they're the Clippers of the Eastern Conference, if you ask me. That team to me is just, there's something missing there. I don't know what it is. I'm not a huge John Wall fan. What? Like, I'm just, look, let me say this. Obviously, he's a talented dude.
Defend yourself now.
Yeah, I'm going to defend myself. You know what I'm saying? I know he's great. I know he's talented. But I feel like a lot of people call him great, but I'm still waiting to see the end result. Like, if he's so great, why hasn't that team performed better than what they have done in the last couple of years?
Because a point guard led team will never be a championship team.
I don't know about that one.
You got to have other guys. You got to have medium-sized guys to big guys. Little guys by themselves cannot win a championship. A pure point guard cannot win a championship by himself because by definition, they need other guys to finish shots. And we know in the NBA, you need guys to create their own shots.
They got Beal, they got Otto Porter, they got Beal, they got Oubre finally coming into his own.
All of those guys are John Wall dependent.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal, not so much to a degree, but he's not a one-on-one player. He's more of a let me get him set up or let me run a system for him type player. He's not a one-on-one guy. They don't have a one-on-one guy. That's what they're missing. It's the same thing like the Clippers. You're 100% right when you made that comparison. But at the end of the day, Kelly Oubre, Otto Porter are all Harrison Barnes. They get KD. True. It's a different damn team. They don't have. They get a young Carmelo, not maybe this version of Carmelo. They get Paul George. They get an elite wing that can go get his. This is a championship team. They just don't have that.
But they still have enough talent relative to the Eastern Conference, though. That's my point.
And that's why they get to the Eastern Conference Finals and they get to the semifinals. They get to the second and third round.
They've gotten to the semifinals, but
But how far do you expect them to go with the talent that they have?
Exactly.
Everything is driven by John Wall, and you're seeing Bradley Beal go and you're about to find out because he's going to be gone for 2 months. So you're about to see what type of impact he has on his team. But there are limitations based on his greatness and what's behind him. Otto Porter is finally developing. Kelly Oubre is finally developing. But it's just not enough for them to take another leap, especially when you got Scott Brooks as your coach. So they're always going to be kind of middle.
Yeah, you brought up the ultimate issue. Scott Brooks is your coach, and how far can you really go with Scott Brooks as your coach? I know he got to a final, but that was more about KD and Westbrook and Harden than it was Scott Brooks, of course. But I'm not saying
what about the Cavs? What about the Cavs without Love, man?
Well, I think honestly, Love might be addition by subtraction. Honestly, at this point, because there seems to be some kind of issue going on with Kevin Love. I mean, it's been the issue for the last. It's not Kevin Love's fault. I completely agree. I can tell you who it is, obviously, in my opinion, who I think it is, but. It might be addition by subtraction in the sense that obviously there was something going on with Kevin Love in that locker room. I don't know what it is. We'll probably never know 100% what's going on. But I mean, I don't think it's a huge injury. I mean, I think it affects them because they clearly can use Kevin Love and they clearly need Kevin Love. But that team is just not playing up to its potential. I understand they have issues. I understand that Isaiah hasn't been what he should be or what he has been in the past. They've made some awful moves, in my opinion. But I don't think it's going to – I think this – of all the injuries you laid out, I think this is, I would say, the least that affects that team as opposed to Wall and Cousins because Love is a third wheel in a lot of ways.
Okay.
What?
It doesn't – what you mean?
On this
Cavs is a third wheel.
I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead, Ken. Your turn.
Nah, he's not a third wheel. Not on the cat. No. He should be the second. I think they're making him the third wheel because of IT, because they think IT is going to go back to being the guy that he was last year. But we saw without IT, like Kevin Love was balling. IT is not Kyrie. He's just not. IT should be the third best player on that team. but it's not going to happen that way because of what they traded to get him and because of his performance last year. So for me, when I look at the injury, I think it's going to, LeBron's greatness will overcome it all. But in terms of how that will impact them heading into the playoffs and the chemistry, I think that's where it's going to hurt them because you finally get IT back. You finally made some changes to the roster. You're somewhat learning how to play with each other. You're going to need games to make that work. And lo and behold, Kevin Love is out for 2 months. And now you square one. And you're struggling to beat a Pistons team without Blake Griffin even on the squad. And you're letting Stanley Johnson cook you tonight.
Right.
So they got a lot of issues. And I think losing Kevin Love doesn't help them develop the chemistry that they'll need heading into the playoffs. I already spoke about John Wall. I think we'll see how that goes. Bradley Beal can play, but I don't think he'll be enough of a general to be able to kind of maybe to go 500, maybe not, because I still think they kind of need that floor general to kind of make it all go, and Bradley Beal just kind of fit in, where he can, being that second guy, and who's as for the
Boogie.
Pelicans, man, after you put up the game that he put up, with that, man, and then to go out like this, man, it's tough, because I think for the Pelicans, they really wanted to use this year to really get an idea of what they had. Now, there were reports that they were going to offer him, a contract in the free agent, when he becomes a free agent. That's still on the table. But I think as an organization, you still really wanted to take a full season to kind of see what you had because, I think they got him last year and, obviously it took some time for them to really get figure it out a little bit somewhat last year. But now you really wanted to kind of see or get an idea of what a full season would be like. And like you said, man, we were starting to get an idea of what that would be. But now it's all over again. But I still think they have Anthony Davis, they have Rondo, and they have Holiday. So I think based on the way, they are now, 4 or 5 games above 500, I still think they'll be able to perform at that level because they got Anthony Davis. And now Anthony Davis can go be the man that he once was if he can stay on the court. So I think they'll be fine. I mean, their ceiling was capped anyway. So this was more about future.
B, what about you, B? 3 guys go down, man. DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall, and Kevin Love. How do you think these teams will fare without these guys?
Losing DeMarcus Cousins for the Pelicans, man, that's gonna hurt, especially out in the West. That's gonna hurt. Because I was looking at them, making a good playoff run, man, being that 6 or 7 seed out in the West and being one of those teams, like this one of those teams that you're gonna know that's gonna be fun to watch coming playoff time. But I don't know how much they can make that run to the playoffs now that DeMarcus Cousins is out. Like Ken said, Anthony Davis will get off more if he stays healthy, like we know he will, or he hope he will. Anthony Davis can get off. He's gonna get off. Kevin Love, I think it's going to be interesting because I don't know if Cleveland was still thinking about trading him before the trade deadline or not. That kind of messed things up if they were planning on trading him because he's going to be out for pretty much about 2 months, which hurts. And then, what was it, John Wall? Yeah, John Wall. All these injuries are just like unfortunate, man, especially for guys that you kind of like a fan of and just, you want to see prevail. I don't know how, it's going to be interesting to see how Wiz is going to adjust from this. Are they going to go on a losing streak? Are they going to still kind of stay afloat until he comes back? I didn't read the reports, though. How long John Wall is reported to be out?
2 months.
Reportedly 6 to 8 weeks.
So about 2 months.
Yeah.
So probably by the end of March, right? Probably like about maybe 2 weeks left of regular season, a week left of the regular season.
Yeah, about that.
So it's going to be interesting, man. It's unfortunate. Of course, just like all sports, injury is a part of the sport. It's going to happen sometimes. It's really unfortunate when it happens to like your star guy, your franchise guy. So, it's just unfortunate, man. It always puts like a little dent in the NBA whenever superstars are not playing and, teams are not 100% because you're like, man, especially going into the All-Star break. So now who's going to replace those guys that's injured in the All-Star? So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's just unfortunate, man. I hate to see that.
True indeed. FIFO, what about you, man? Three stars go down. John Wall is out 6 to 8 weeks. Kevin Love out 6 to 8 weeks, and of course, the perennial All-Star Boogie Cousins is out for the year with a torn Achilles. How do you think these teams are going to look without these guys?
The Wizards are going to be bad. I'm gonna just that's as simple as I can put it. They're just gonna be bad because they're so John Wall dependent that I don't see how they're gonna survive without him. I'm trying to pull up so they're
even in the East.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they were kind of, to be honest, they were kind of struggling a little bit right before.
Yeah, they were. But I think the East is their biggest ally right now. I think nobody's really pulling away in the East right now.
Exactly.
So
exactly. But look, I think they could fall. They're fourth in the East right now. I think they could definitely fall. What? And then you said K Love just got hurt.
Yeah, that's
not going to do anything. I think that's actually probably going to like it's going to be addition by subtraction, just like I don't want to mess up
Manning.
Just like Danny. Just like he said, I think this is going to give Isaiah Thomas some time. More time on the court. They're going to rely on him a little bit more. Hopefully he can elevate his game. Obviously last year was Isaiah Thomas's coming out year, right? So everything is riding on having a good season. He's playing for a lot. He's playing for a lot of money out there. Somebody's going to pay him. And that's what he's playing for. So he needs to elevate. I think this is going to be his opportunity. And I don't think it can only get better for the Cavs. It can't get worse. Well, at least we hope so. And then, who's the last person that got hurt?
Boogie.
Oh, man. When I saw that,
non-contact. He was just standing there, basically, and just jumped up and tore his Achilles.
Man, it happens, and it's sad, mainly because he just had a historic game a couple of games before that. And we're talking Will Chamberlain. When you talk about Will Chamberlain and historic, you're doing some things that hasn't been done in a very long time. And the way he was playing with AD, I heard a lot of commentators and analysts talking about, I would rather see those guys going against each other. Nah, man, it was a thing of beauty seeing them play with each other. We're talking about two new age big men, take it off the glass, push it up court, initiate offense, run pick and roll with each other. Like Boogie was having his best season in my opinion. And for him to get hurt like that, man, my heart goes out to him, man. But, I the type of competitor he is, I think he'll be back like nothing happened, honestly. So, but I think they're going to struggle. I think, Ken was talking about this is going to be AD's time and he could get back to being AD. He been AD, bro. Have you looked at the What you talking about? What you talking about? How much more do you want AD to do? So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with him if they decide to trade AD. I don't know, man. I don't know. Lot of movement in the NBA. I don't think it's going to be over just yet.
Yeah, a lot of movement going on in the NBA. I don't really have much to add to what you guys said. I think obviously losing Cousins is a huge blow. And correct me if I'm wrong. His deal is up this year, right?
Yeah, he's a free agent.
Wow.
And that could hurt him in free agency. I mean, because I know you guys.
I would hope that it wouldn't.
Well, think about it. Not many big men get Achilles injuries. And the last big man I can remember that got a real serious Achilles injury was Elton Brand, and he was never the same after that. Now I know he was like 30 when he got his injury, but Boogie's 27, so he's got age on his side. But I mean, if I'm a team, as much as I love Cousins, I would have to pause for a second.
You know what, man? I think all things considered, like FIFO said, if he can bounce back and be the Boogie that he was before, I think teams still cut the check because I mean you don't want to be the one to pass up on him and he comes back and he's the same or maybe even better and having given that opportunity. I think New Orleans if that deal is on the table, I think that deal will stay. I don't really think – I can't see them walking down or walking back on the money that they were going to give him because they know what kind of guy he is and they believe in him. Like FIFO said, the Wizards have been struggling prior to Wall going out, so I think they're going to struggle even more. Kevin Love's injury is a little bit more peculiar to me because I think he's probably one of the few guys on that team that they can afford to lose. They can't afford to lose. Isaiah Thomas still trying to find his way into that offense and him still being a defensive liability. It seemed to me like prior to Isaiah Thomas coming to that, getting, inserted into the lineup, Kevin Love had been playing some of his best ball. And we talked about it a couple of weeks ago here on this podcast. It just means that's more pressure on LeBron. Not necessarily pressure like he can't get it done, but you're going to ask LeBron to do even more on the offensive and defensive end on a night-to-night basis now that he doesn't have that 20, 25-point scorer beside him in Kevin Love. And I think ultimately that could catch up with LeBron down the road. It ain't going to bother him now because that's just what he does. But, unless you can get some type of production, you look up and down the bench. I mean, can you get more production from D Rose? Can you get more production from, Jeff Green, those kind of guys? So, a lot, and Ken has said this before, a lot of this is going to fall on Tyronn Lue. And no, it's not Tyronn Lue's fault that Kevin Love is hurt, but if the Cavs don't do what they're supposed to do, it's going to come back to Tyronn Lue. I mean, that's not right. It's not fair, but that's what it is. So I'm very interested to see how that plays out. I think that injury could – let's just keep it a buck, man. The Cavs have been struggling prior to Love getting hurt. You take him out of that lineup, and they're that much worse. So we'll see. Quick breaking news that we got, an alert. Your man Alex Smith, Ken, is on the move. He is leaving Kansas City. He has been traded to the Washington Redskins. So it looks like –
How about Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, I'm assuming Kirk Cousins is probably on his way out. My guess is that Kirk Cousins might be headed to Jacksonville.
Well, they already gave him an extension, too. I just got an alert that they already extended him.
So Alex Smith already has an extension. So he is solidified with the Washington Redskins. Like I said, Kirk Cousins, I think, was set to make like $3 million or something like that coming up if they had franchised him again. So my guess, this is just my early guess, my guess is that he's probably headed to Jacksonville. So, you put Kirk Cousins on that Jacksonville team with that defense, man, hey, you never know. You never know.
They said they're bringing Bortles back.
Yeah, they just
They're doing what?
Bortles back too. They're bringing Bortles back.
Okay.
It's hard to cut the dude after the dude did take it to an AFC championship. Now, a lot of that was the defense. Right. I get it. Let's but it's hard to say, you got us to an AFC championship game. We're talking about Blake Bortles here. Peace. I agree.
So, that's a little NFL.
You got to get the Tim Tebow treatment.
Right.
You got to get the get out of here. I don't care what
not
you did,
not the Tebow treatment. Not the Tebow treatment.
So, we got that was a little bit of NFL breaking news. Let's keep it pumping with the NBA, man. We're almost at the halfway mark for the NBA, and we haven't done on this podcast is talk a little bit about some of the rookies that we've seen that are lighting it up on a night-to-night basis. So right now, let's talk about some of our candidates for Rookie of the Year. If you have a top 5, you can put them in a top 5. FIFO, I'll kick it over to you, man. What do you think about these rookies and give us your 5 or the people that you think should be in contention for Rookie of the Year?
I think really it's only 3.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not 5. Kyle Kuzma, Ben Simmons, and Jason Tatum. Those are the 3 guys.
LeVar's son doesn't make your list?
Lonzo? No.
I'll mess with you, man. Go ahead.
Ralph.
I'm about to say.
Ralph.
Ken.
No Donovan Mitchell. What is wrong with you, man?
You're right. Yeah. And I watched them play live, too. So you're right. I got to put Donovan up there. So there's a top 4. He separated himself, too. But that's about it, though.
Okay.
The rest of the guys, they look like rookies. These guys look like they about to be, problems because they are problems already. But I definitely think who's going to win Rookie of the Year is going to be Ben Simmons. Is
he a rookie though? Like I don't know. I feel like this is cheating almost, man. I mean, technically, I know technically he's a rookie, but the dude got hurt his first year. He got the rehab with pros. He got the train with pros.
But no, they consider him.
It always sounds like. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I always count that as like cheating, man. It's like in baseball when a dude comes from Japan and then they count him 30 years old and they call him a rookie. Like, man, this dude ain't a rookie.
No, he is. Look, he is. It doesn't matter what you did previous to this right here. But if
I know technically speaking, he's a rookie. I get it.
No. We're not talking no technically. It is what it is. So respect it what it is. And me and B talked about it last year. If I was Ben Simmons, I would have sat out too because I know I should be rookie of the year. There's no way I'm going to play a couple games with. It was good that he sat out. It is what it is. He's the best player in 2 drafts, and he's going to win it. And I think that's how it should be. Jason Tatum's nice. Love his game. I think he's only going to be a 20-point scorer maybe next year, maybe the year after, but it's going to be relatively quick. Donovan Mitchell, that's a grown man right there. That man, I saw that man live. I was like, he's a rookie.
Wait, you saw him live?
I saw him live.
Oh, that's why you went to the game.
Yeah, man. You know, I earned that ticket, man. You got to grind sales. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Went to the game, saw him live. I was like, yo, the way he's built. You know, you could tell dudes that they just got a man body, and that's just what he has, man. And it's gonna be scary because he plays poised. Nothing that the Hawks did sped him up, and that's the thing that really stood out to me when I was watching him. And then we got who was my fourth guy? How am I forgetting my own list? I'm pulling the Ken.
Kuzma.
Man, the boy Kuzma. Man, I think he's fourth on this list, but I think he separated himself, man. I think this guy, look, when there's 2 other players at your position that have been there longer than you, and now the front office is thinking about trading them because they're valuable assets, you're the guy. He's going to be the guy. So I really like Kyle Kuzma, man. He's super versatile, big body, high IQ, range. So it's only going to get better. Footwork. Oh my God. Like, we don't see many young players come in with the type of footwork he already has. Can finish with either hand, has touch. If you listen to me talk about basketball and analyzing basketball players, one of the things that I look for that you cannot teach is touch. You cannot teach it. You either have it or you don't. And Kuzma has a ton of it. That's the reason why I predicted Joel Embiid to be what Joel Embiid is. You can't teach touch. But yeah, man, that's my top 4.
True indeed. B, what about you, man? Your candidates for Rookie of the Year.
I mean, this is not no particular order, but just rookies that I like. Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Dennis Smith Jr. Yeah, of course, Ben Simmons. I mean, technically, if he's a rookie. And then Kuzma. It was a toss-up between Kuzma. Darian Fox, he's starting to come into his own a little bit too, man, Darian Fox. But, yeah, I like Kuzma, man. I like him. He's definitely a spark for the Lakers, man. So that's my 5. But, yeah, I don't have him in no particular order, though.
That's cool. What about you, Manny? Who do you have for your candidates for Rookie of the Year?
Well, I'll be biased a little bit. I'm a Laker fan, so Kuz is my guy. I think Simmons is going to win it. I think Simmons is going to win it. I think he's been much ballyhooed or whatever. He's gotten all the press and publicity. You know what I'm saying? So
James Harden went for 60 tonight. I'm sorry, I mean to cut you. I just got this update.
What?
James Harden went for 60 with a triple-double win over the Magic.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Wow. You good, man. As far as outside of Simmons though, Kuzma to me is really a top 3 outside. If you want to count Simmons, I guess we can count Simmons. Obviously, we've got to. But outside of Simmons, Kuzma, I'm a Laker fan. The fact that dude went 27th in the draft is just that shows you that some of these GMs don't know what the hell they're doing. Kuzma's just the dude came into the league with grown man game. That's the crazy part. Like, dude came into the league with a game of a dude that's been in the league for 9-10 years. So the dude has just got everything. He's got an array of moves. He can drive, he can pull up, he can shoot from the perimeter. He's even crafty in the post. I mean, I'd like to see him work on his defense a little bit better, but he's a rookie. He's got time. Kuz is that guy. Mitchell is a man. Mitchell is I've seen him play a couple times against my squad, and Mitchell is that dude for real.
Piss me off every time I see him ball out too, because we got him. we drafted Luke. We drafted Luke over him. Wow.
Yeah.
I remember screaming at the TV saying, "Please draft Mitchell. He's right in our lap. Draft him." The Detroit Pistons select Luke Kennard. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm a Duke fan. And
he's a Duke fan. Oh, man, get him off this podcast, man.
Oh, my God.
Hey.
How do we get it?
Stop being disrespectful.
How do we let him infiltrate us like that, man?
Stop being disrespectful, man. Anyway, but I agree with you, though, B. I would have definitely taken Mitchell over Luke. Although I think Luke's going to be all right for y'all. But not a superstar, but he's definitely going to be all right. But, Mitchell, Kuzma, and Tatum.
Okay.
I mean, I think definitely with Dennis Smith kind of somewhere in that conversation too. Definitely.
Okay. Ken, what about you?
Well, I definitely think all of you guys are wrong. Donovan Mitchell will win Rookie of the Year this year. He deserves it over Ben Simmons. He's going to change that franchise, man. I mean,
Ben got like 4 or 5 triple doubles, dog.
And like, man, I know, man.
Can he shoot? Can he shoot from beyond like 16 feet?
But why does that matter? Ben Simmons is more efficient. Ben Simmons gets more rebounds, and Ben Simmons gets more assists than Donovan Mitchell. Just because Donovan Mitchell could maybe jump a little bit high. Get out of here. Ken, what is you talking about?
No, if the only way Ben Simmons wins Rookie of the Year is because the NBA has an agenda. They want to push him. Get
out of here.
Bingo.
Get out of with your conspiracy theory behind, man. Get out of here with that, Ken. Are you serious? Ben Simmons.
100%.
Ben Simmons is the best rookie playing this year. He has the most triple doubles. He has the most impact to wins on his team. He's relied upon.
He's got Embiid.
Yeah. He has more help, bro.
Are you serious? So
I mean, everybody knows Simmons is that dude. I mean, nobody's questioning his talent, but I'm just saying, to you to flat out definitively say he's the best rookie playing this year, I don't know.
Best rookie. Best rookie hands down. He's the one rookie, right, out of all these rookies, change any team. Is Utah even in the playoffs? They're in the playoff hunt right now?
Come on, because they only have Donovan Mitchell.
No, man. You still got.
They've had some injuries. They play in the Western Conference.
Derek Favors. Hey, do you want me to keep going? You got some guys now.
Yeah, Derek Favors.
Derek Favors. Oh,
he hurt his leg. Since he hurt his leg, let me see. Where's Utah?
Utah's like.
All right, so I mean they got a ways to go, but they only have Donovan Mitchell. He's the centerpiece.
I understand all that. All I'm saying is, look, man, Ben Simmons is the best rookie playing right now. He can do the most, and he does it most consistently.
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell should win Rookie of the Year, but we know how this goes.
Why? Ken? What does he do better?
Because like you say, he plays with composure. He's not afraid of the moment. He'll go toe to toe with any star right now in the league. He can shoot, he can rebound, he can assist. He may not average as many as Ben Simmons, but he's not freaking 7 feet tall. So, and I think he has to shoulder more of a load than Ben Simmons does, because Ben Simmons, there's times when Ben Simmons doesn't even impact the game. He has like 8 points, 5 assists, or 7 rebounds, or something like that. He just really got back on track over the last since he had that triple double about a week ago. So before, I was with you. Like when the season started, Ben Simmons looked like I was like, he's gonna run away with it. But Donovan Mitchell's coming on strong, man. But nobody cares about Utah. He's not getting the coverage that he deserves. So that's who I think should win it. I mean, we're middle of the year. We'll see. They got the rest of the season to play this out. So I think it's going to be nip and tuck between them two. So I got Donovan first, Ben Simmons second. I'm surprised you guys haven't mentioned this guy because he's low-key balling up there in Chicago. Lauri Markkanen. Like, this dude,
surprised me.
Yeah. Lauri Markkanen.
Lauri Markkanen. Okay, my bad. Yeah, man. I'm surprised you didn't mention him, FIFO, because he putting up like damn near third or fourth year numbers. It's
baby
crazy.
Dirk right there.
Yeah. I think he's going to be really, really good. I like Jason Tatum, man. So I'll give him his props. I like Dennis Smith Jr. Of course, I like Kuz. I think he's the best rookie Laker. But man,
real disrespectful, man.
Hey, I'm just saying. But the guy
I'm not arguing.
Damn, Cleveland. But the guy that I want you guys to keep an eye for, John Collins in Atlanta.
Yes.
They let this guy get close to 30 minutes a game. He is going to be something else.
I don't know why we don't play him.
He's a problem.
I don't know why we don't play him as much.
He's a problem.
I
saw him with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah. I love you guys know I'm a Hawks fan. I love John Collins, man. I love his game. They're slowly but surely working him into more minutes. I don't know why, at this point in the season he's not playing more minutes. But that's a really good list. I don't have anybody on my list that you guys did mention. I think the two front runners, like you guys said, are Mitchell and Simmons. I like Dennis Smith Jr. That dude is explosive as hell. I think when we did our NBA preview show, if I'm not mistaken, I picked Dennis Smith Jr. to win. So the fact that he's still in contention, I think, bodes well for him. But yeah, I like those guys. I like Kuzma. Really, for me, kind of came out. I don't want to say he came out of nowhere, but my level of expectation. Obviously, when we thought about the Lakers and rookies, we were thinking about Lonzo. And to his credit, Lonzo Ball has been. He struggled a little bit with his shot, but he's been there. I think one of the names that obviously we're not going to mention that nobody's talking about is the number 1 pick, Markelle Fultz. Real weird situation going on here. We still don't know the seriousness of the injury to his shoulder. He's not shooting. He's not doing anything, ball related as far as being able to put up shots. Right now, he's been out indefinitely. So, hopefully he'll be back on the court soon, but they haven't given him any timetable on it. What's up?
He has been shooting it, and that shot is broke as hell.
Oh,
Don't know
that's even worse.
Yeah, it's on Bleacher Report.
That's even worse. Wow. Well, I hope he can, turn it around because, to have that kind of injury and, not be able to play basketball when you're the number 1 pick, has to be extremely frustrating.
Maybe Danny Ainge wasn't so stupid after all.
Well,
no, Philly's just cursed, man. Philly's just cursed.
Well, let's hope the brother pulls through it and can suit up and give, because that team is if healthy, they're a very good young team to watch. Let's move on to the NBA All-Star Game. The selections were made. As you guys know, the format has been changed. The 2 captains, LeBron and Steph Curry, and they were in some secluded room or something, and they basically picked like how it would be if we went to the courts and just picked teams. And so it got me to thinking about how the All-Star Game has changed, and we can even talk about some people who you thought probably should have made the All-Star team that didn't make it. Ken, what do you think about the new format, and if you have any All-Star snubs, guys who you thought should have made the All-Star team but didn't?
Yeah, I like the new format, man. I know a lot of people have talked about it being televised. I won't add more to that. We'll see what happens with that next year. But looking at the way Westbrook reacted to it, they probably made the right decision to not televise it. But yeah, man, I think it's going to be really interesting because with LeBron, you kind of have a old school big man team, and Steph's team is kind of the new school with shooters all over the place. But I definitely like that they're not standing still. They're listening to the fans and they're trying to do something new. It's already generating enough a lot of excitement for the All-Star game and a lot of conversations around it. So, I think it's cool, man, because you kind of get back to like that playground essence. And a lot of these guys, you grow up playing basketball with your friends, going to the court, and doing this professionally, but to kind of bring that back and kind of remind guys of what that was like, that feeling of being able to go in and select guys and to play with them. So it should definitely be interesting to watch and to see if they're actually going to compete. But I would have loved to see, because I know Paul George got in the most unfortunate of ways, but I would love to see Lou Williams get a spot. And
agreed.
That's really the only guy that I have. I know there's more, but he's the one that comes to top of mind right now.
Okay. What about you, B? Your thoughts on the All-Star format and any All-Star snubs?
I like the format. I still feel the NBA dropped the ball by not televising the picking of the squads. That's crazy. They really dropped the ball on that. Because, I think the NFL players did it one year when they had their Pro Bowl, and it was like Deion and Jerry Rice, and they was picking their squad. Like, I think the NBA dropped the ball. They should have televised it. But I think, Paul George, of course, Lou Williams, and Drummond. But I guess just the way All-Star is played, I guess they feel like, well, Drummond won't be exciting enough. I don't know, but I think Drummond should have definitely got in over Al Horford, just based off numbers and how much Andre Drummond has improved and worked on his game, stuff that he had to work on that he improved in this upcoming season. He's second in rebounds per game, and he's leading in the Eastern Conference. So, what more do you want? So, but those three guys I think that got snubbed is Lou, Paul, and Andre Drummond. I can't think of anybody else from the East that possibly could have got in.
I want to say they named Drummond as a alternate, though. I think.
So Kevin Love.
Yeah, I think so. I'll check in a second. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. But that was all. Those are the three guys. Lou Williams he's playing like he's pretty much got the 6-man award on lock, because I think he comes off the bench. I think he's the 6th guy to come off the bench. He comes off, fill it up. Dude been averaging like 30 plus for forget how many games it was. I want to say the last 12 games he's been averaging. He's the only non-All-Star that has like a 50-point game. Dude is instant buckets, man. He instant offense.
I just checked. Drummond is replacing John Wall.
He's replacing John Wall. Okay. I wonder who's replacing Kevin Love.
They'll probably announce that tomorrow. Wow.
Gotta be Lou Williams, man. Gotta be.
But is what team Lou Williams play for? I thought he played for the Clippers for some reason. I don't know why I thought he played for the Clippers. But it don't matter because it's the pool. You throw him in the pool.
Right.
I got you. Yeah, but that's the case. Yeah, Lou Williams should definitely be the replacement. And then Paul George should replace DeMarcus Cousins. There you go.
Okay. What about you, Manny? Your thoughts on the All-Star game format and any snubs?
I think me and you had this conversation offline. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not really I guess I don't really have an opinion on the format change one way or another. I will agree it's a little bit more exciting. It made me pay attention to it, I guess, a little bit more. So I guess in theory it worked. But I'm whatever with it. It should be all right, I guess. As far as snubs, I think this is one of the few years that I can honestly say that I don't really besides Lou Williams, I don't see really anybody that I would think damn, how the hell did he not make the All-Star team? I think they did a pretty decent job overall. I'm looking at the roster now. I can't think of anybody that just jumps out to me as a clear omission. Oh my God, how did this dude not make the All-Star team? So yeah, I think overall snubs. I don't think I would list one besides obviously the obvious Lou Williams. I think. And then as far as the format, I think we'll see. I think we can get excited about it, but again, if it's 145 to 175, I think it's still going to be a problem because I don't think that's exciting. At least for me, it's not. Right. I like to see a more competitive, a more effort given in that game. So
What about you, man?
You know, I'm not going to name all of the guys that have already been named alternates, but, man, I'm disappointed in all of y'all, man. How y'all not talking about my guy, Ben Simmons, man? How you not talking about my guy, Ben Simmons?
Oh, man.
Yeah, we just leave Ben Simmons in the last topic.
Y'all out here, man, disrespecting my guy, man. But you know
he's
what?
a rookie. He's got time.
Doesn't matter, though. He's doing
LeBron
it
didn't
now.
even make an
Reward
All-Star
him
team his
now.
first year.
That's cool. But look,
He should.
But look, man, in his rookie year, he has his team in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So
Embiid has his team in the playoffs.
Hey, both of those guys, Embiid by himself wouldn't have got them to the playoffs without Ben Simmons. Let's be honest. And vice versa. I give you that. It's vice versa. It's like Penny and Shaq. Not even Shaq could have got his team to the playoffs. So look, it's hard to do it by yourself. So I get it. But definitely Lou Williams in terms of the All-Star start. The way he's balling right now, you definitely got to reward that. Especially for a guy that has only averaged about 14 to 15 points in his career, for him to have a season like this and for his team to also be in the playoffs. I think, you know, this is an experience that you got to kind of reward him for. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, the format. Let me ask you, man, are you a hooper? Have you ever played ball?
Who?
Man.
Yeah.
What position?
I mean, I'm not a superstar or anything. Obviously, I'm talking to you guys, so obviously that career didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, though, because how is that not nostalgic and, you know, picking your guys and stuff like that, man? That's super dope. Like, you know, you say you really didn't.
I mean, it's a cool idea. I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know. I'm me, man. I'm a traditionalist. I'm a young man with an old soul. So I didn't think that the East versus the West was a problem. I think the effort in the game was a problem. So, I mean, if you're judging it from, a marketing,
but they're not changing it. But they didn't change that for it being a problem. They just changed it for entertainment purposes. Them playing for a charity is what's going to make them play harder.
What charity?
True. I think they offered like $100,000 or something for charity or something like that.
This game is for charity now.
No. They're getting paid $100,000. They're not. That's not a charity. These players now are getting the winner's purse. I think was $50,000, and the losers was $25,000. So now the winners are going to get $100,000. And the losers are still going to get $25,000. I think that in and of itself should make the game more competitive. And, you know, you ask yourself, okay, well, does a guy like Steph Curry, you know, need $100,000? Hell yeah, he needs $100,000. You know, that's money. That's I don't want to say it's free money, but because he's worked for it. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, and then some of these guys have, you know, take a guy like an Andre Drummond, even though he made it, you know, via someone else getting hurt. But he may have a clause that if he makes an All-Star game, he may have some type of salary incentive, you know, for him to play in the All-Star game. Personally, I'm kind of like Manny. I like the old format of the East versus, because I came up in the 80s, man. So it was East versus West, and you didn't get a chance to see these guys go head to head. You know, and I guess a little bit different because, to your point, FIFO, we didn't in the 80s, we didn't get a chance to see the matchups that we see on the night-to-night basis because, you know, NBA wasn't televised like that, right? So when you got a chance to see guys in the All-Star game, it was really it was a real treat because there were already rivalries. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't there wasn't really a lot of friendships. I mean, I don't want to say guys hated each other, but it wasn't the friendships that they have. I mean, it's just the point of the time. I guess my point is that even in saying that, you could tell that it was competitive. I mean, man, last year or maybe the year before, the score is like 195 to 150. I mean, like, I don't want to see.
I turned it off at halftime, man.
Yeah,
I don't
want to
see
a bunch of lobs and you know, stuff that I want to see. And no, I don't want to. You don't have to necessarily be running plays and defensive sets, but I want to see guys compete. I want it to look like it did if I went to Central Park to watch somebody play. You know what I'm saying? That's how I want it to look. I want them to have fun. And maybe the first half, let's say you see guys throwing alley-oops and throwing the ball off the backboard or whatever like that. But if we got close first half, damn it, the second half, let's tighten this thing up. Let's play some ball. Let's hoop. You know, you ain't got to go because it's not like the Pro Bowl
where you clearly see guys trying not to get hit and trying not to hurt each other. But I want to see James Harden talking trash. I want to see James Harden step back, shoot a three, and talk trash to LeBron. I want to see LeBron go at somebody and then reciprocate it on the defensive end, block guys, shot, talk trash, have fun, but make it competitive. And I think all it takes is for one or two guys to be like that. Like, I'll give you an example, and I'll close with this. Russell Westbrook, he don't have no turn it off. You go back and watch those games, those All-Star games for the past couple of years. Russell Westbrook was full speed ahead. He doesn't know about, okay, let's just take it light, let's do this. And people thought, it's funny because you get on social media and you think people were thinking like Russell Westbrook was kind of going too hard. That's all he knows, and that's how he plays. And he's kind of like a throwback to the old era of basketball. But I don't mind the guys mixing it. I would have preferred if they kept it East versus West. I don't mind them mixing up the teams. I would definitely be encouraged to see them do the draft live. But I think Adam Silver probably stayed away from that because he thinks some guys will be in their feelings about where they got picked. But if you Al Horford, you getting picked last. I mean, come on, man. You Al Horford. you ain't supposed to catch no feelings about that. You just happy you got picked, Jack. So, I hope that they change it that way. But I think, the money incentive, $100,000, dudes might play a little harder knowing that, that's a huge difference, obviously, the $75,000 difference between the winners and losers. So, I hope it's a good game. I don't want to be like you said, Manny, I don't want to be turning the game off in the second half because it's bad enough that, another thing that they could change the format. They could move this game up earlier. I mean, like this game starts at like 9:15, 9:30. Yeah. The All-Star games back in the day they'd be Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Perfect. The game is over in 2 hours. You still got a little bit of your Sunday evening to chill. And I get why they moved it to prime time. They want to, get the ratings and stuff. I get it. I understand it. I mean, it's just like the Super Bowl being played at 6:30. That being said, man, just, it's certain things they can tweak. I think, but I think this is a step in the right direction. I'm interested to see how it goes. I think LeBron's squad is loaded. And as far as all-star snubs, I don't really have any. I think you guys mentioned Lou Williams probably is the biggest omission. I think he's been balling, and I want to see him to continue. Before we get out of here, something we try to do every week, hit you with the one guy to go. Of course, these are not my ideas. These are from my homie, Eclectic on Twitter. You can follow him at #1 guy to go. It's real simple, popular game on social media. You pick one thing of four and the rest are gone forever. Since we have a guest on, Manny, you're up first. Okay. Let's do this. One gotta go. College only. So these players we're going to talk about, we're going to do some sports and we do some hip hop. But the first one is it's going to be college only. Blake Griffin, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony. One got to go.
College only?
College only.
My opinion, me personally, Blake.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Long as you don't say the wrong answer, you won't get no feedback from nobody.
I don't want people to attack over the phone or nothing like that.
Ken, what about you, man? College only. Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, Blake Griffin. One got to go.
KD and Anthony Davis.
Okay. B, what about you? Anthony Davis, KD.
Cut that man mic off. Go back to doing what the hell you was doing, bro. Stay your ass over there, bro.
Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony, KD,
Blake was
and Blake
a baller
Griffin.
in college, Ralph.
Who you got, B?
But Davis won the award in the national championship in 1 year.
Yeah, on a loaded team. 14?
All teams are loaded.
I don't think KD's team was loaded, and neither was.
That was Kevin Durant. Yeah, well.
Yeah, he had a terrible coach. Who you got, B?
I guess I might have to go with Blake because honestly, I really do not remember Kevin Durant's freshman year at Texas. I mean, I know he was a baller.
He was.
Yeah, I really don't remember.
Baller.
I mean, yeah, obviously he got picked as high as he did. I just don't really remember. I remember like little glimpses of it. Like all those four guys you named.
If I'm not mistaken, he played with DJ Augustine.
Yeah, he did.
Right. Like I remember all those guys. Like I remember their college career. It's just for some odd reason, I just don't remember Durant that much. I don't know why. And I mean, I know it was a good season.
I'm gonna tell you why, B. It wasn't Kevin Durant. It was their coach. They had DJ Augustine. They had Kevin Durant. I think right after that they had LaMarcus Aldridge, and I can't. What's the coach name that used to be there in Texas? Little dude used to be a coach. Little dude from Texas.
Man.
I can't remember. I don't know. Rick Barnes. Yeah, Rick Barnes. Yeah, he can't. Rick Barnes. Terrible. That's why you can't remember. B. That's why.
25 and 11. B. 20. Damn near the same numbers as Melo.
Damn. Durant. Oh no! I believe no. I'm not.
Durant 25 and 11.
I'm pretty sure. I'm sure Durant had a heck of a good college season. I just don't. I don't remember it. I honestly don't remember it. That's all.
Like I said, it's Rick Barnes' fault. It's Rick Barnes. Don't worry about it. FIFA, what about you, man? Who goes?
Man, get Blake Griffin out of here, man.
Okay.
Wow, 18 and
I'm with y'all. Blake Griffin got to go.
Get Blake Griffin out of there, bro.
I got it. Blake Griffin got to go. Let's take it to let's take it to TV. Programs that you watch. One got to go. FIFO. PTI. Pardon the interruption. The Six with Michael and Jamel. Around the Horn or First Take? One got to go.
I'm gonna have to say Around the Horn, even though I love that show though.
Okay. Kenneth, Sports Center, The Six with Michael and Jamel. First Take, Around the Horn, and PTI. Pardon the interruption. One got to go.
Around the Horn.
Yeah. Okay. B, what about you?
Around the Horn.
Okay. Manny?
I can honestly only watch one of these shows religiously, and that's PTI. I'll have to agree with everybody else. Around the Horn.
Yeah, I have to agree too. Around the Horn is kind of corny at times.
Yeah, PTI is my show. I like PTI.
It's knockoff of PTI. That's all it is.
All right, let's go hip hop. Let's go hip hop songs. Don't get this wrong, Ken. Juicy, Players Ball, Bring the Pain, Method Man, DeWick, Gangstar. One got to go.
Damn. All right.
When he starts off with "I," that means he's about to say some crazy shit. Watch.
So you say Juicy and Players Ball.
I'll read it back to you. Juicy by Biggie, Players Ball, Outkast, Bring the Pain, Method Man, DeWick, Gangstar.
Juicy.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Ken, it's past your bedtime. It really
Juicy is like cunning.
What? All right, okay. B, what about you?
Players Ball was nuts.
Juicy, Players Ball, DeWick, or Bring the Pain?
This is a good one because like all these songs are pretty much iconic in their own. Man. Players Ball, Juicy. What was the other one? Bring the Pain. Bring the Pain was the shit too. My god. Okay. Only the reason why I'm saying this is because no. Look, it's probably a sucky reason. Only reason why I'm gonna say this song is because I'm gonna be honest. At that time, the album was a little bit of a letdown for me, a little bit, and I'm gonna say "Bring the Pain."
Okay.
The Cow was a little bit of No. I liked it, but it was. Come on, man, Method Man, like he was like the star in Wu-Tang. So like when I knew he was coming with that solo, I ain't gonna lie, Kyle, my expectation was really high. And then when I heard Bring the Pain, I was like, oh man,
no, this album it makes sense. Yeah,
I'm like, this album about to be flame. When I heard it, I was like, yeah, it's cool, but I didn't fall in love with it like I did the other solo efforts after, like, you know, the GZA and ODB and Raekwon. Like, I was hoping Meth was going to be on that same level, but he didn't. So that's the only reason why I'm picking Bring the Pain.
Fair enough. The back half of Tikal isn't as good as the first. It's still I think it's still a good album, but it's not as good.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying that album is whack or anything. It was just at that time in '94 when that joint came out, my expectation was really high, and it was a little bit let down.
It's no Cuban Link. It's no Liquid Swords, of course.
Right, obviously. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, but coming into that album, I was expecting Cuban Links or Liquid Swords type level, but it didn't.
FIFO, one got to go. DeWitt, Bring the Pain, Players Ball, or Juicy.
DeWitt.
Oh man, let's get this dude the fuck up out of here, man.
I knew he was going to do this.
I knew this.
That's not surprising though. Why y'all surprised?
Dude, man,
I'm not surprised.
Why do we let him on here every week? How do you get rid of that? Man, that's an iconic beat from pre. I'm getting rid of Juicy, man. I agree with Ken, and the reason why Juicy got real for me.
I don't know about that one.
Hold on.
Juicy,
Juicy got real old for me.
It was
man.
all a dream.
Got real, man.
What more iconic way to start off? It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up, man. Come on,
Radio killed that song for me, man. Radio,
the beginning of that, but that's MTV. Puffy though. Puffy.
Yeah,
all artists under Puffy killed radio.
But you can say that about every hit song in hip hop, man.
But nah. Well, you know what, man? I think at this particular time, at least where I was, because I was still in college at the time. I mean, like, so you had college radio, then you had your regular, black radio. It was, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing the song. It killed us all.
I mean, radio played a shot of cream back then too. Yeah. Probably, if not just as much, if not more than Juicy.
Yeah, so I got to get rid of it.
Juicy was iconic, man. Come on, the perfect from rags to riches song. Like that was like the Scarface of hip hop at the time.
That's better than not getting rid of DeWitt. You can't touch DeWitt. But I digress.
Oh no, I'm not touching DeWitt. I'm not touching DeWitt.
I'm talking about your man FIFA over here. All right, so
I get it. FIFA wasn't really up on Gangstar like that. So I get it.
We got we got time for two more. Let's go. I guess let's go hip hop. Let's go lyrics only. FIFA, I'll start with you. Kanye West, Andre 3000, Drake, Kendrick Lamar. One got to go.
Between Kanye. This is easy, man.
This ain't that hard.
Take Drake out of here.
Okay.
You took too long to answer that one.
I know, right? B, what about you, man? Drake, Kendrick Lamar.
Drake.
Okay.
Drake.
Manny?
Drizzy got to go.
Yeah, man.
And you forgot to get me on the first one.
I'm sorry. What'd you have?
You good. All due respect to the legendary DJ Premier and R.I.P. Guru, but DeWitt got to go. Sorry. Can't take Juicy out. Just can't.
Jesus Christ. What's wrong with y'all, young
bucks? Can't do it, man.
This will be the last time. This is the last time we'll have him on this podcast.
Juicy is iconic. Can't do it. Bring the Pain method. I mean, that delivery, come on. And then Players Ball, that was my first exposure to Outkast, so
You got Kanye, you got Aubrey, you got Andre 3000, and you got Kendrick.
Kanye.
Whoa.
Over Drake?
Over Drake? This dude.
College dropout? Late registration?
Life of Pablo. 808s and Heartbreaks.
Yeah.
He's trolling. He don't even like them albums. I know he don't. Nobody in their right mind like them albums.
Nope, I don't. And he has to be punished.
I'm getting rid of Drake. This wasn't even close. Shout out to Kendrick for Grammys. I heard he cleaned up at the Grammys the other night.
Yeah, he did.
I saw his performance today. It looked pretty dope. I like that. Let's see. We got time for one more. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's go basketball. Shaq actually posted this. And it's not necessarily one got to go. It's just verses. He had 90s versus 2000s. So who wins? B, I'll start with you. 90s versus 2000s. So we're going NBA players. I'm gonna read to you the team of the 90s and the team of the 2000s. 90s, point guard, John Stockton. 2 guard, Michael Jordan. Got Charles Barkley at the 3, Karl Malone at the 4, Hakeem Olajuwon at the 5. 2000s, Allen Iverson at point. Kobe at the 2, LeBron at the 3, Tim Duncan at the 4, Shaq at the 5. 90s versus 2000s. Who wins, B?
I'm gonna have to go with the 2000 squad.
Okay.
Too powerful.
Okay.
Too powerful, and you pretty much got your 6'8" point guard in LeBron, because he gonna be distributing that rock to Kobe and Ivo. But you can't say the 90s, because you think about the chemistry. Can Ivo and Kobe work on the same squad?
On this team, I think they could. Shaq could keep them in line. Shaq could keep them in line. Shaq
I don't know, man. You talking about Kobe and Ivo, 2 divas, about huge divas in their prime on the same team.
But this is one game for the for the championship.
I got you.
What about you, Manny? 90s versus 2000s. I'll read them again. Stockton at the point, Jordan, Barkley, Malone, Olajuwon, and then for the 2000 squad, Bubba Chuck, Kobe, LeBron, Tim Duncan, and Shaq.
With all due respect to Kobe Bryant, man, I got to go with the 90s, man.
There we go.
Wow. Okay. Any particular reason why?
Well, obviously, I'm obviously we're looking at these players at their ultimate peaks,
at
right?
Their prime. So everybody in their prime.
In their primes. Olajuwon in his prime worked Shaq in the finals.
Okay, so
MJ is MJ.
I'm not going to try to change your mind, but let's go Olajuwon in his prime against Shaq in his prime.
It's still cooking.
It's still Olajuwon, man. It's still Olajuwon
over here.
Because when Shaq was at his peak with LA, he never played anybody the caliber of Olajuwon.
Okay, fair enough.
Back then, no center anyway at that peak. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
Mutombo definitely wasn't that. So, and then obviously AI running the point. I like AI better as a 2 than I do as a point. So I think that would
LeBron be the point guard. LeBron gonna be the PG.
Well, yeah, true. I guess you could. I guess you could have LeBron running the point.
Okay,
yeah.
So you.
I don't know. Just like the 90s. It'd be a close game. It'd be like a 120, 119 type of game.
Okay.
Come down last possession type of thing. Okay. But I'm gonna go with the 90s.
All right, FIFO. What about you, man? 90s versus 2000s.
2000s all day. Me and you see it the same way. Look. It don't matter what LeBron plays. If he's on the court, he's going to be the sole point guard. You got 2 guys like AI and Kobe that can just go get their shot whenever. Like, who's going to stop LeBron? Charles Barkley ain't going to stop no LeBron James. He ain't going to stop no LeBron.
Malone on LeBron. That's a problem.
And then is I know Johnson is the steals leader, but what he going to do with AI or Kobe? He ain't doing a damn thing. He's going to be the weak link on defense. A prime Shaq and a prime Hakeem, to me, is about even, because I don't even think like the Lakers Shaq would be the Shaq that I would want. I would want like the Orlando Shaq, the run up and down Shaq.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Gun. The young gun Shaq. And then we talking about Tim Duncan against Karl Malone. I'll take Tim Duncan, eh?
Yes, sir.
You know, so
Jordan and Kobe cancel each other out.
Yeah, they cancel each other out. So it is what it is. So I'm taking 2000s, man, all day.
Ken, what about you, man?
You don't even have to ask me, bro. A lot. Give me that 90s.
You say Hakeem Olajuwon. I know. Ken is picking that team.
I should have said like Mutombo or somebody.
Man, Olajuwon and Jordan on the same squad.
Yeah.
Over, dog. It's over. Everybody else just get in where you fit in. Just get in where you fit in, and they'll bring you home.
And Jordan cancel each other out. They both in their primes. They're gonna cancel each other out.
Anybody listen to this?
The 90s team feels like a more cohesive unit because they actually have guys.
It does, because you got like the point guard, you got the shooting guard. Barkley will probably see LeBron James and be like, "Hey, coach, what the hell you want me to do with this?"
right. And see that's where the problem would come, because
and y'all be sleeping on.
You don't have nobody.
Man.
You really don't have anybody to go.
I'm not sleeping on Chuck. Not sleeping on Charles.
No, Chuck got down.
Malone was similar to LeBron for size, but Malone couldn't stay in front of LeBron. So I'm with FIFO. I'm going 2000s. I think, other than really the only mismatch is Shaq and Olajuwon. If you want to give the nod to Olajuwon, and other than that, I think the everybody else win. Well, Kobe and Jordan wash each other out, but no, I give Kobe. I'll give Jordan the slight nod over Kobe. So, I'm going 2000s, man. I'm going 2000.
Because Kobe's gonna mess it all up because he's gonna try to go mano a mano against Jordan, and knowing he's not as efficient as Jordan, and he's gonna
AI would mess it up.
Well, both of them.
Bubba Chuck is going right at John Stockton. He gonna give him like 5 crossovers. Man, it is about time for us to get up out of here. As I mentioned at the top, man, we gotta make sure that you subscribe to us. Make sure that you follow us on all social media. So you want to do that because you want to get down with what we're doing. Before we get out of here, it is time for our closing thoughts. My man FIFO's up first. FIFO, what is your closing thought?
The NBA season is officially started. This is where the true NBA fan gets their rocks off. We have NBA trades. We have the All-Star game. We have the playoffs right around the corner. And if you're a basketball fan, a true basketball fan, then we have March Madness right around the corner too. Mm-hmm. So, the college game is starting to ramp up. Yes, go UCLA, go all these squads. I like all these young guns. But, if you're just a basketball fan, now's the time. Now's the time. This is our time, basketball fans. Everybody stand up. And thank you for listening to Dead End Sports.
No doubt. What about you, B? Your final thought?
I think it's time that we start putting Roger Federer in the conversation of like GOAT athletes. Mm-hmm. If you want to mention guys that dominate their sport for a very long time, I know I mentioned Serena Williams, Floyd Mayweather, just dominant athletes that just dominate their sport for damn near 2 decades or plus. This dude is 36 years old and just won him another Grand Slam. His 20th Grand Slam with this Australia Open, and he's poised to possibly win 2, maybe sweep out the whole year. I don't know. The clay, usually Rafael Nadal owns him on clay, but he can possibly win 2 more at the least, man, this year, and totaling out at 22 Grand Slams, man. Because I thought Pete Sampras was that dude, but Roger Federer just pretty much surpassed all of that. So, and as long as he's been dominating the sport of tennis and playing against like other future Hall of Fame tennis players, it's not like the competition he's playing against is whack. He's played against some top-notch guys throughout his career, and he still managed to win these Grand Slams. So, it's time we throw his name in that pool as well. Throw him in there with the other greats that dominate their sport for so long. So, yeah, man, shout out to Roger Federer.
True indeed. Next up is our guest, my man Manny. And Manny, don't forget to tell folks where they can catch your podcast at.
The Technical Foulcast. I'm actually having my man 12 Kyle as a guest tomorrow on my show. My podcast is available anywhere, man. Anywhere where you can find a podcast, we're there. So listen and subscribe, man. As far as my closing arguments, man, I'm really interested in this Michigan State scandal. I'm going to get into it a little bit on tomorrow's show. I think it's time for the NCAA to consider a death penalty again. I know it's been a long, long time, but man, it's if you look up some of this stuff that's going on in Michigan State, I mean, to have two sports involved in such and basically a crime. I mean, it's crime, criminal activity. This isn't student athletes getting paid under the table. I mean, this is a crime that we're talking about. And, to have 2 sports in one institution and then that's not even counting Larry Nassar. So, I think it's definitely time that the NCAA really start considering the death penalty because this thing got to stop, man. These programs running roughshod like this, it's got to stop.
True indeed. Ken, what about you? Your final thoughts?
Yeah, so after the news of Alex Smith being traded to the Redskins, it's R.I.P. Kirk Cousins. It's officially a wrap for him because what's funny is because news broke earlier today or yesterday that he said he'll gladly play under the franchise tag this year.
Of course.
Which would have been around 30 mil. And then, like,
yeah, I think we all would.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? So he's done.
Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. My final thought, like you guys said, go back to Michigan State. I think it's do yourself a favor and read up on the information that ESPN broke on this past Friday with the allegations of, not just like Manny said, misconduct, but criminal activity, sexual assault, sexual battery involving players that played basically basketball and football, for Michigan State. I think one of the key things that you have to look at is that on most college campuses, the four most important people on the campus are 1, the president, 2, the athletic director, 3, the football coach, and 4, the basketball coach. And, not necessarily in that order on most campuses, but those are the 4 most important people. At Michigan State, the president and the athletic director have both resigned. I think Tom Izzo and D'Antonio, the football coach, they better watch their back and they better start talking because it's looking like they're going to be next.
What can you say? I mean, D'Antonio's press conference was
You're going to
laughable.
have to do whatever you can to get your it's just like any other scandal. People want to know what you knew and how you knew and when you knew. And it's time for them to start talking because it looks like this has gone silent for far, far too long. Ladies and gentlemen, that's another edition of the Dead End Sports Podcast. We got to thank our boy Manny for coming through. For FIFO, for B, for Ken, I'm your boy 12 Kyle. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Chill.